Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. I wanted to make a video because today we went to this place called the Great Sand Dunes. If you look it up on Google, it's basically these massive, well, the whole area I think is 33,000 square acres. So it's massive, but this one area in the front where the state park is, it's these massive, like, 1,000, 2,000 foot dunes that you can rent snowboards and sleds and go down these really steep. And I was messaging Rob about what happened because what had happened was we climbed to the top. Me and my buddy Erica stayed behind because she's like, I'm not climbing 2,000 feet. 1,500 feet in sand, because when you climb, like, you sink down. So it's like doing it twice because your feet are sinking so far, and the sand gets up to 140 degrees. So I was going down this area, and I was going really fast, and I got scared. So I tried to stick my feet out like this, but when my foot dug into the sand, I was going incredibly fast. It was probably like this, and I somersaulted forward and just totally ate shit. I had a gallon of water in my bag, and it exploded, and the back was open, and Erica lost her gummy worms. She was upset at me. She's listening to the door. She's probably laughing. So Erica's gummy worms went flying. I went flying. There was, like, people on this big ridge above me. They were just like, idiot. But no one else wanted to do it. And my buddy, he followed me down, but after he saw me just totally eat, he's like, I don't know. Okay. So am I telling you this story about me eating shit at the Great Sand Dunes? I want to talk about the importance of bringing the recovery journey with you everywhere you go. But before I go any further, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you think about these videos. I love the engagement. I love speaking with people. One of my favorite things about what I do in this community is the webinars. The webinars are so... I'm all excited right now. I just got back from this. So now I went from like this to webinars. You're like, what are you doing? So, but I have no plan for this video. I'm just turning it on. I think sometimes it's really good to just turn the video on and talk. It will never be an exposure for me, since public speaking is something I've been naturally gifted at, more than likely because I like engaging in conversation. The hardest thing for me to work on over the last 3 years was listening. Like, truly listening without having to prove an opinion, actually listening to where the person's coming from, whether I agree with them or not. So the webinars are a great way for me to speak to people and hear what they're talking about. I listen. If you come to a webinar, you probably see me. I'm like this. I'm like looking all creepy. I keep my camera on the webinars. I think it is good to have that visual, like, connotation to what I'm saying, because I can be very animated, and I get very I get going in the webinar sometimes, especially when we're making jokes. If Rob is there, it's good for humor. So when I was really stuck with sensory motor OCD, I mean, my life was 24/7 fear of never recovering, and the sensory motor fears are the fear of noticing your sensation for the rest of your life, the fear of being stuck for the rest of your life, the fear of it ruining every single event for the rest of your life. Birthday parties, hiking, the gym, anywhere I went, it was like me, my saliva and swallowing sensations, and then something. The outside world, glossy. I had depersonalization and derealization 24/7 for years. 24/7. It never turned off. Even when I thought I accepted, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought, it still didn't turn off for months. 3, 6, 7, 8 months. It got better in the sense of I accepted it more, so the intrusiveness was going down. But that goes to show you that even when you think you've accepted something, more than likely you haven't accepted something. And that is something I had to learn, and that was really difficult. I'm super dehydrated because all I drank today was ciders. Everyone makes fun of me. I don't really drink beer, and I don't really drink hard alcohol. I've never been a big drinker, probably luckily, because of the way I can be. Never did anything for me, but I do like cider. So I like Angry Orchard, and all my friends are like, oh my God, you're so basic. So, you're out there and I'm bored and I'm just profusely sweating, like profusely sweating in this 120 degree sand with all these tourists who are like in jeans. I'm like, what are you doing? As I'm shirtless in a bathing suit, getting just massacred by just falling, just sand everywhere. You know how it is when you go to the beach. I have sand in my ears right now. And I just took a shower. It's everywhere. So when I started doing things again, when I actually started to bring recovery with me. First of all, what was I doing that wasn't good? Self-pity all the time, victimhood. We're all going to fall into victimhood at some point. Every single one of us at some point is going to fall into victimhood. Not even with OCD. Maybe you lose a family member in a car accident. Maybe your father dies young like mine. We will fall into it. That's not the problem. The problem is, it's like feeling anger. It's not that we're saying you're never going to feel anger again. Stoicism is a regulation of your emotions. There's so many misconceptions about Stoicism. Even people who study Stoicism and speak about Stoicism, I don't think they actually understand it as much as they say they do, because they're screaming at people to get them to prove their point. And that's not what Stoics do. Stoics don't need to prove themselves to anyone, and they've also accepted their condition. The reason why I know this is because I used to prove my point all the time, and it was a zero ROI. All it did was upset me, and no one ever wanted to listen to you. So I didn't leave the house. I stopped cooking my own meals. I gained 50 pounds. I'm 5'7". Everyone makes fun of me. I'm not like, I'm 5'7" stature, and I ballooned out. I look like this. I was really big. I was like 220 pounds at one point, maybe more than that. I think one time I was 227, which was incredible. I had like a 38-inch waist at 5'7". Holy shit. Because I was eating out every meal, and everything was overeating because it was a compulsive behavior for comfort. So I fell into all the comfort traps. The chronic victimhood. I fell into the constant eating 24/7. I fell into the avoidance behaviors of anything. So I actually didn't go to the gym for 8 weeks and just played video games for 95 hours a week. And then I moved to Colorado and played way more video games. So once I started to bring OCD recovery with me, things really started to turn up. Wait, what? I thought you're saying I need to bring it with me to help. Yes, but you've been avoiding and doing compulsions for so long. So when you start not doing that, your brain will freak the fuck out. That's part of the deal. Not everyone, but most people. When I mean most, I mean 99.9 infinitum out of 100. When you stop doing something that you've been accustomed to doing as an avoidance compulsive behavior, you will experience morphing, switching themes, and everything like that. And I didn't want to do anything. So I started going to the gym again. I started hiking again, and I would avoid and go back and avoid and go back. There was times I got to the mountain, I would sit down on the rock and cry. People have heard me talk about this in webinars. And my wife was like, no, you need to push yourself forward and you need to go. So all of that lasted a couple years, like 2 to 3 years. The reason why I use long periods of time is, one, to actually trigger you. It's important for you to hear that. Because if anyone is telling you, everyone I know recovers at 6 months. If you don't recover at 6 months, something's wrong. That is garbage information. It's very dangerous information. I've heard information such as, if you've been doing something for a year and you're not recovered, then you're not going to recover. All this nonsense, usually spoken by people who do not understand OCD, which is 99.9 out of 100. That's just the facts. As I always say, I'm willing to speak about OCD with anyone. It's just one of those things where a lot of people think it's going to be a lot easier than it's going to be. It's going to be really tough. Really, really, really tough. But you can do it. Realism, a great question I was asked, and this is something I still think about. What's the difference between reassurance and hope? Reassurance is blind optimism, and it's a lie. But there are times and places where I could see with like young kids, not OCD related, like, if your 5-year-old kid came up to you and said, am I going to die one day? And you say, yes, absolutely, you're going to die one day. Maybe of cancer, pulmonary embolism, maybe a car accident, maybe you get murdered. Like, you're not saying that to your 5-year-old, even though that would more than likely do him the benefit long term. And I truly do believe that. Blind optimism has no benefits long term because it's not hope. It's a lie. It's lying. I'm not saying it's in this perspective of being afraid. It's just not reality. So hope looks like this. OCD recovery is no chronic guilt, shame, no intrusive thoughts, images, sensation, urges, factory reset. Regulation of your emotions is not you'll never feel maybe shame or guilt again, but you can pull yourself together really quickly. 99 out of 100 times you're not experiencing OCD at all throughout the day. And that. That's OCD. OCD does not mean different things to different people. That is a big misconception. If you believe that, it's unfortunately not true. There's one definition of OCD. If there's not one definition of OCD, then we get lost in transaction. So that is important. But hope looks like this. That is OCD recovery. If you put the work in, you don't whine all the time. You bring down your complaining. You focus on the task at hand. You don't have to be compulsive with exposures, which you will be more than likely. You don't have to be compulsive with disputing your irrational beliefs, which you will be. And you have all these ups and downs and confusions because OCD recovery, many people think OCD recovery looks like this, right? Many people think OCD recovery looks like this, right? The bottom one, like that. But OCD recovery looks like that. That's OCD recovery. That's a really good representation of it. So it's like, oh wow, like I'm not getting better, months doing all everything. Oh wow, I feel great. Oh no, my life is over. Oh wait, what? This doesn't work. Oh wait, medications. Oh what? No, I don't know what's going on. Oh my God, side effects. Oh my gosh, new theme. Oh no. Oh, my life's over. Oh, mental hospital. Should I go? I don't know. Recovery, and that is years. Chronically suffer for years, but it takes a while to get better. So it is really important to cover that. But all through this time, I had to live my life. I had to go to work. I had to hang out with my wife. I had to walk my dogs. Didn't have to do anything. But these are the things I wanted to do because I knew they were going to be beneficial to my recovery process. So the reason why I'm having this weird kind of just go with the flow video right now is because it is important to just do things. Just do things. Life has no plan. The only plan you have is the plan you have in your head about how your life and your day and your weeks and your months and your business and your relationships are supposed to go. But there are no rules in life. The only rule in life is being born and dying. Those are the only rules. And everything else in between that is up to interpretation. That is so important to realize and was so important for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please get out there and do it. Please join us in the webinar if you want. Email phil@ocdrecovery.com. We have so much fun on the webinars. They are a blast and they're getting big. Lots of people from all over the world. It's great. We go into a lot of detail. And, it's going to be a really good time. And look, you can recover. And even if you never reach that full recovery, it's not the end of the world. So stop measuring your progress. Focus on if you're doing the things you're supposed to do. Focus on bringing your fear down. Don't let anyone tell you OCD recovery is just exposures only, because you wouldn't be here listening to me rant about this random stuff. We all know exposures aren't the answer full incapacity because we've all done exposures and haven't fucking recovered. So exposures are important, a vital piece, but they're certainly not it. Fear, if it's not addressed, the fear of being stuck forever, aka taking the foot off the gas, realizing you don't need to recover. Think about it. You don't need to recover. You need oxygen. No oxygen, you die. Bye-bye. See you in the grave. But you need to actually breathe oxygen. You need to drink water. You don't need to recover from OCD. It's just a high benefit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this spontaneous video. If you turn the video off halfway through, I don't blame you. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching and have a great day.